Hey, Keith Yackey here. Another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust. We are who you hire when she lacks desire. I had Hans Molenkamp on today and we shot pool. So the episode is going to look very differently. But Hans, I've known for about 6 years. I met him front row at a UFC fight, and I just found this guy to be rather interesting. He's got this electric life where he's, doing all these interesting things. But as I got to know him over the last 6 years and support his brands and buy his stuff and tell people about him, I got to know the guy behind so many really interesting ideas, interesting thoughts, even so much as he even said today as being able to print on canvas for a lot of these octagons was his idea. But Hans, who has done some very cool stuff all the way back for some action sports. He was deep into bodyboarding, surfing, motocross, Osiris shoes. He actually designed one of their famous high tops. He built his Triumph United brand and sponsored a lot of the early guys in UFC, even before they were in the UFC. He has his Crimson Tactical knife brand now that is wildly popular. His ideas about these things, him getting Monster to sponsor athletes such as, a lot of famous fighters, but Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, and so many others. Hans was behind in the thinking and the strategizing of a lot of that stuff. And so I wanted to ask him some questions about his entrepreneurial journey, about the way he creates and the way he thinks about things. I look at him like an artist, the way I look at myself, the way I show up into this world and wanting to create art. Well, Hans has done that at an exceedingly high level, and our interview today was really fun. You're going to want to pay attention. Yes, I do kick his ass in pool, but this dude is the real original. He's legit. I love the way he thinks. I love his creativity and how he shows up in the world. So I think you're going to really love this episode.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100.
You're gonna let me wet?
I'm gonna let you break.
No, you're breaking, dude. You got a fucking glove on.
Okay.
Dude, you got a glove. This motherfucker's rolling with a fucking, like a Michael Jackson glove, and he's asking me to break. Like, you're obviously the fucking pool fucking shark.
Hey, I was just gonna give you, a little bit of a...
Do you have chalk though? Since I don't get a fancy glove?
We don't, just because I don't like the chalk all around because I got the black walls. But would it feel better if I took my glove off?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I can tell you're colorblind.
I like to play a little bit of pool. I'm not good at it, but I really like it. Here, go ahead.
What's up with your fancy cube?
I don't break with this stick.
Okay.
Yeah, both chalks are the same.
They are. The one looks like it's brand new. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of tournaments in here. Okay, so here's the question I was thinking.
Yeah.
So you get an idea, open table. You get an idea about whether it's, hey, we're going to create this whole new division of Monster. Hey, I'm going to create Triumph United and end up sponsoring some of the biggest names before they become the big names. Hey, I'm going to do this thing with Osiris shoes. Hey, I'm going to go build cages for a throwdown. I'm looking at all this artistry.
Mm-hmm.
From the idea, Crimson Tactical.
Yeah. From
the idea you get it, what's the next process? Like where does your mind go? Do you call somebody? Do you map it out? What is Hans Molenkamp? You've created great works of art, man.
It all happens so if I have something that I know that I want to do, it all happens within that initial first phase, all of it. Okay. I think it out all the way for as long as I can go. Okay, so if I'm going to have something here, I need this, and this. I need 10 different components of this to make this work. So what are they going to be?
Yeah.
I don't go, okay, I'm going to start this and go, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? I have to have all these things lined up. Then I know that I have a solid base.
Okay.
Then I can move forward.
Got it. All right, so when you started Triumph, what was the...
Triumph is a little bit different because I started Throwdown first with a partner.
Okay.
And that Triumph was started because of a dispute with that partner.
Gotcha.
I sold my part of Throwdown. I wasn't supposed to do anything, right? I wasn't supposed to start another brand. That was a part of my deal of getting bought out.
Yeah.
I started a totally different kind of company, which was like, Triumph was originally a marketing agency for athletes, where I was going to go, hey, I'll take, like, social media was just starting. I did Rampage's website. I did his walkout t-shirts. Like, I designed his walkout t-shirts. A lot of people don't know fucking that. I designed Rampage's fucking walkout shirts for his UFC fights. I did all that shit. So I'm like, hey, I know I can do that, right? Yeah. I could help this guy. I could shoot photos of him for fucking press. I know that I could get interviews. I could help them out and market them to become bigger name athletes, because I have all those tools to do it. But I'm also going to associate it with a brand name, which is Triumph United, right? So I made a logo, and I made a like a company out of that. Well, my partner, my ex-partner that was working with Thread on me, he immediately thought that it was a competing brand, and he stopped paying me what he owed me. Like, he still, like, he gave me like half of it and was making payments, so he stopped paying me. So that, boom, changed. I was like, all right, fuck you. Yeah. You know, I'm going to go right into what you're doing now, motherfucker. And you think you built that company? You think you fucking built that, motherfucker? Watch. And that's why I started Triumph. Okay. And I went after him, and I was like, I'm just going to build a brand to fuck you up. That was more of a fuck you up kind of thing. And I did it, and like, that's why my brand's still around and his isn't. Ooh, that's I'll let you. This is a fucked up table, dude.
What do you mean?
Oh man, this is fucking.
Oh yeah, I broke it too good. That looked like sharp angling there, folks. Okay, so
you can keep talking. I can keep playing as you talk.
All
right, go ahead.
Those tight pockets. Damn it.
I was getting too aggressive there.
When you created Triumph, did you know, okay, I could go into competition with this glove company, this bag company?
No, I didn't look at it like that.
How
I don't look at it like that, ever. Like, that's the thing. I don't look at any of these brands as competition, ever. Anything I do.
You're a collaborative guy.
No, I just don't give a fuck. I don't care what they're doing. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna carve it out in a way that it's either gonna work for me and people are gonna like it and they're gonna dig what I'm doing, or they're not.
Yeah.
And so I don't look at it like I'm like competing against another, like, you know, like Triumph came out at the height of like fucking MMA blowing up, right? And I started in 2007. And so, you know, I mean, you had Tap Out, you had all these real brands that were making a lot of money at that time. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't see them as competition because they can't do what I do. So I'm just going to do what I do, and we're gonna live beside these guys doing what we do, and we'll take what we take. But I don't look at them as competition. I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing this, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, they're gonna fucking be a part of this, we got to be a part of this. No, never. Like, I don't. None of the things that I do. I'm just kind of going and doing my own thing.
Doing your own thing.
Always.
What has been like to get some of the things that you're doing go off the ground? Like when you just told the story of, we play ball in hand here. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I want to ask you about the growth one in a second, but here's a question I've got for you. Is with all this cool stuff that you've done, was there ever times where you're like, fuck, this isn't working out the way I want, and there was massive amounts of doubt about anything that you've done? As an entrepreneur, I've had a lot of late nights and fucking worried about this, worried about that. What's your process for when you go through that, if you've been through that?
About the worry?
Just like, fuck, just those moments of doubt. Have you ever had them? Because there's a lot of guys that listen to this podcast, and some of these guys, this might be the first time that they're introduced to you, who you are, but they don't know the iconic brands and the iconic pictures that you've taken. I mean, there's so many things that you've fucking done.
I don't look at it as doubt. I just look at it like maybe I should start working on another project to kind of shift my ideas and move things around. So I'll just start working on something else. So I'm not that's the thing. I'm not fixated on one thing going, oh my God, if this doesn't work, my fucking life's over with.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this thing's not real. It's kind of like, okay, Triumph's a perfect example, right? Okay. So Triumph is at that point right now where I'm doing things differently. I'm putting out the product where we used to just have it consistently going. Like it would be consistently like always product on site. You could always get it from gyms. I didn't like as things started to morph and things started to change, especially after COVID, I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I would rather make it more exclusive, put it out like Supreme would in a fucking drop and have it really cool, limited, and then keep doing that. Because I think that the longevity of the brand would sustain that way. So I just changed it up. I just
overnight you said we're just doing batches and drops.
Yes. And so like pretty much, yeah. I mean, like it wasn't overnight, but it was like, as I was like, okay, do I invest in this more, or do I change how I think about, like the direction of it? And so like, I'm not going to just get rid of it, but at the same time, I'm not going to let it just like die on its own because of my ego. I'm just going to change it.
Yeah.
I'm going to move directions with it. I'm going to kind of like reinvent it and kind of bring it back out. Sometimes you just need to fucking, take a pause and let it sit for a second and then come back. Yeah. And you can do that. I think people just get wrapped up with, like, oh my God, it's not working. I can't sell these things. I don't know what to do. I'm fucking done. What do I do? What do I do? Do I go back and do them? You don't necessarily need to do that. You can kind of just slow it down, reposition. If there's other things that you want to do, jump into that a little bit. Yeah. And come back.
I love it.
You know what I mean? It's like I think that's a big myth about business, is that like it's not always all or nothing. Sometimes it works, all or nothing. Most of the time it doesn't. Yeah. Most of the time it fucking doesn't.
There's always a backstory to almost everything, it seemed like. Well, first of all, what is your most proudest thing you've ever created? That you look back and go, man, if they knew the whole story about this, fuck, they would really.
I mean, dude, there's like so many. I mean, there's like things that I've done. Like, I printing on canvas, like for a lot of people don't know, or actually fucking like doing fighter shorts. No one knows that I started doing that a long time ago, like heat presses, but the one thing that like I did that I actually fucking came up with was printing on canvases. So when you watch a fight, UFC excluded because they still paint them, but like all the other fights out there, you'll see that there's a big logo in the middle and all that stuff. Like before, they used to like stencil them on or hand paint them or fucking like it was really like remedial how some of this shit was doing. And I came just like that thing was printed, right? That came from a big printer. Yeah. Well, working in the action sports industry, we did shit like that all the time. Yeah. We printed on banner material. And I was like, wait a second, why can't we just, when we were doing the cage business, I was like, because I ended up having to hire guys to fucking hand paint some of the cage some of the canvases for the events that we were doing, because we were building cages for everybody. Like with Throwdown, we built all the cages for all the organizations. And so like for the Strike Force cage, that was a perfect example. It's like we fucking got this giant stencil and fucking spray paint. It took like a month to get it done. Oh shit. And then with that, I just laid it out in Illustrator, sent it over to the printer, we got it done in panels, and then we had them stitch it together, and it was done. And they could pick any color they wanted, any logo, 4-color process, it was done. And it was game changing. And to this day, it was one of the things that, that's probably one of the proudest things I've done. Really? I mean, I designed, we had a shoe at Osiris called the D3H, which was a high top shoe of the D3, which is an iconic shoe we had with these big loops. And I designed that. It was a high top shoe that I designed that sold really, really well. Okay. Like, and I designed that like in Hawaii on a fucking, we were there for a wedding that I did. I was the one that did the wedding for my friend, and like I was sitting with my two friends, and I had to come up with a shoe idea, and I made this shoe, and it was a high top D3. I designed that shoe. It was called the D3H. You can still look that one up too. Dude. A lot of people don't know that.
How did you were explaining to me at lunch the monster thing, and like it's
how did that happen?
I know you had a process before.
That one wasn't me going, I'm going to do this for them. Oh, okay. So this is, it was a little bit of, so a really good friend of mine that's a VP of sports marketing, VP of action sports at Monster, Cody Dresser. We trained together every single day in the morning. We would go to the gym. And I just thought it would be cool. I was like, hey dude, we should fucking like.
Sorry, hold on, it's my phone.
I think he's taking it easy on me right now, because he's got the glove on. Anyone that rolls with a glove like that, You better be fucking taking some money. So we were going to the gym, and we were also going on trips together because I was doing Osiris, he was doing Monster, so we would do shit together, like at X Games or whatever. And then I just was like, hey, dude, like, is this possible? Can I hook up a couple guys, like some of the fighters, couple fighters with some product? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And he backed the whole thing. He helped me he basically believed in the idea, and that turned into 2 fighters, turned into 3 fighters, turned into Bellator, turned into UFC, turned into what it is right now. But so that whole thing, but in my head, yes, I thought about the whole fucking thing as I was like, once I got the green light, I'm like, I can do this. I know that I could fucking make this thing work. I know that like, if I had the opportunity to do this, I could make it work. I could do what I've done with other athletes and other businesses. I just have the fucking biggest fucking energy drink company in the world behind it. Yeah. And it worked. Like it's, you know.
Is Monster into? I've noticed. I've been obsessed with this new Formula One show.
Yes.
The Drive to Survive. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
We sponsor Lewis Hamilton.
You do?
Yeah.
Monster does?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. I was just like, where is the other energy drinks involved? Because Red Bull's involved. They run. They're winning.
It's us and Red Bull pretty much.
Dude.
This guy is just fucking not leaving me alone.
You guys are putting me in a little bit of a bind here, Hans, with this. How sharp I'm going to have to start shooting.
I'm clearly winning right now.
Clearly. Let me see if I can put a little 3-ball banger on the old side pocket there. Nope. So you hit him up and you go, yo.
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. What's going on here, dude? What's going on here? What's going on? What just happened here, dude? What's going on?
I'm deep in thought, bro.
What's going on? What's going on? Hey, I got 2 balls left. I mean, I know we're not done, but look.
Well, we'll just see who wins. Let's just see who wins.
I mean, look at this fucking glove this guy's got on.
Winning.
I don't even know what that thing can do some damage in weird places.
So, who were the first 2 guys that you ended up sponsoring? Like, what made you pick them? The creative process for me is so interesting.
The first 2 guys they're Muay Thai fighters, actually. A lot of people don't know this, but the first guy was a guy named Artem Sharshoshkin, who is from San Diego, that owns the boxing club. Are you playing off that, or what's up?
Yeah, I called it.
Okay.
Oh, in my mind, I called it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear him call it, but
yeah, we just.
I was like, okay.
We're a bunch of professionals around here.
Artem Sharshoshkin, he's a Muay Thai fighter, and he was fighting in lion fights, and that's the first time the logo was seen.
Really?
Yep. And then it was after that, it was Tyrone Spong. Those were the first 2 fighters.
Who?
Tyrone Spong.
And was this before? Had MMA really gotten that big yet?
This is 2010.
So kinda.
I mean, are you still going?
Yeah, I just got to win real fast.
Just got to win real quick?
I just got to win real fast, and then we'll rack it again.
K1?
He was in K1. Well, he was in Glory, and he was in, I think he was in K1 too. He's a Dutch kickboxer, and then he was in World Series of Fighting. But he's a fucking stud, man. And he's one of the guys that, to this day, I think is one of the best fighters in the world. He owns the pool table with a glove.
And the glove.
He's got a glove. So those were the first 2, and then it was Dominic Cruz, and then it was Michael Chandler. And then it was Rampage. That's the 5 in the beginning.
Who was the 5 one? 5th one?
So it was Artem.
Who was the last 5th?
It was, the last 3 were Dominic Cruz.
Okay.
Then Michael Chandler.
Got it.
And then Rampage Jackson.
Got it.
That was the entire 5 for the first couple of years.
How did you know it was working? What was your metric to go, dude, sponsoring these athletes actually?
It was really slow in the beginning, because it was just like, the parts of the industry picked up on it, but a lot of people didn't understand what was really going on, you know?
Yeah.
And so, it wasn't this, like, it was a definite side project for me at that time. So, like, I was just doing it because I saw that there was value, and I knew eventually it would happen. And then when we got...
Why don't you break this time, just for fun?
All right. Here.
That way there's no excuses. Nothing. You wait.
Can you film this with this camera real quick?
Yeah, I'll do it.
No, you got to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be in it. You got to be hanging out right here.
Okay.
Like, so you can see it.
All right. Just breathing down your neck like...
I just gotta see that.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, man! Oh, I thought that was in.
Robbed at gunpoint. All right. Looks like, I'm gonna do a little more winning over here. Okay, so how did you know if it was gonna, like, what would have been the metric to go, dude, this thing is working? And then, I mean, clearly it has since then. Obviously.
So the metric was this, is that when we got, like, when it really happened when the Bellator deal happened. Because when the Bellator deal happened, it was very much similar to like when I first sponsored a fighter with Osiris. Like, it was seen, it was on TV now, right? And it was on TV in a way that like people at the company were talking about it. Like, oh, we sponsor this organization? Like, I saw it on Spike TV or something at that time, right? Like, I saw, like, I didn't know we were doing this. And so then it started to go in a manner that, like, you know, that's when you get the sales guys involved, and that's when you start seeing it cross platforms over to a different group that wants to utilize it. And so then they start wanting to utilize it, and then, you know, obviously it comes back to me like, hey, can we get some athletes here? Can we do this? Then the synergy starts, and then that's when everything that, you know, like I know how to do from marketing, I try to implement so that they can make money off this thing.
Yeah.
Because if they can make money off this thing, then it grows. Yeah. And so then, and that's what happened, is that, you know, like they made money. And like, when I say they made money, they, you know, like they utilized it in programs that, from point of sale to, you know, like dealer activation stuff to fan type stuff, and all that stuff grew, and like year after year, more and more. And then the UFC opportunity happened, and that's where it just fucking took off. Yeah. But I had, like, that was like, so where in traditional, like, so I used to, with Triumph, sponsor UFC fighters, right? We had a deal where we sponsor the fighters, you had to pay the UFC, all this shit. And so I already knew how that part worked. Like, I knew that if I was going to sponsor a fighter, like, to get the logo on the shorts, I had to do all this stuff. Well, the UFC did a Reebok deal, which pretty much took all the fucking sponsorships away from Triumph. Yeah. So like, and Tap Out, and all the brands that were associated with MMA, all kind of fucking left. So the transition is that as I was leaving with Triumph, I was coming back in with Monster. And so I had a lot of athletes that I was already working with. Like, I knew all these people. I'm like, okay, this is the first Monster team in the UFC now. Like, now it's a difference. Like, so all these other athletes we had that were kind of doing the seed work to grow this thing, now I got to go and I have to pick out a team that's going to be the fucking the A-list team that's going to go out there and have a Monster logo on their shorts when no other brands are on the shorts. So it's just Reebok and a small, or a Monster logo about this size on the shorts. And now this is the hard part. Is like, everything else after that, like, you know, you don't know if a fighter's going to fucking win or lose. You just don't know. And you don't know if a fighter's going to blow up and be a fucking star or not. No one knows what's really going to happen. So I had to go and you know, Cody and I, like, worked together on picking this fucking team. And it's like, this is the team that we're going to launch with. This thing could have gone fucking horribly wrong if all of them lost and none of them became stars, right? So like, so my name's riding on this shit now. Like, okay, so if I pick out this team, they all fucking lose and they all fucking go away, like, what does that say of the brand? Because remember, this isn't a one-fight deal for these guys. These are multi-year contracts. So they're going to be fucking riding with the brand, and this is all we got. Like, this is all I got right now. This is a team I got to work with for 2 years. Nobody knows that part of the business. Is that first fucking pick of the UFC team was... This was it. This is who we have. We have them for 2 years. Everything I got to do is with these guys. And if they fucking stop fighting, if they don't blow up, if none of this shit works, like, say they all fucking get injured, there's no Monster logos in the fucking cage on an athlete.
Oh shit.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. So imagine like a fucking baseball team, right? And you go and like, you have to pick a roster for a baseball team. You pick the roster out and it's opening day and all, like, half of the team's fucking uninjured. Jeez. You're fucked. You know, same thing in any sport. And that's where, like, in MMA it's different because they don't, like, it's not based on a season. It's like, you want to try to, hopefully these guys are fighting 1 or 2 times a year so you can be seen and you can do things and they're still growing. That's where it was like, like to pick the team out and to make sure that this was the right team.
Yeah.
It was crucial in the evolution of what the brand became.
Was there something you saw in each of those people that made you pick them?
Yeah, I already had known like the guys that were moving up the ranks. I already knew who like I felt really was gonna be a stable pick that, like if you brought them to market, people would know who they are.
Is that because of your intimate knowledge in the fight game, and you fought,
yes,
there was an inside view that nobody could see.
Yes, because you wouldn't like, that, and then having key relationships with them and their agents and their managers, because again, man, like it's not like I was like fucking rolling out fucking $1 million deals to these guys. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Contrary to fucking belief out there, they're like, you're not giving fucking dudes like, hey, you're on Monster, you're making a fucking $1 million. No way, dude. Like these are just normal like deals.
Yeah.
Like these are accessory deals for a energy drink brand that like you really don't have to do much for, right? Like we want to use you, but we're not like, you're not going to a 9-to-5 job. Like so, it's a good deal for the fighter, but it's also one of those things that like you got to like, so if you don't have a relationship with the athlete, you don't have a relationship with their agent, why would they want to do a deal?
Yeah.
And they also look at the brand as like, this is $1 billion brand, so like, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah.
So now you have to fucking go, well, look, you're going to be rolling with me. I'm going to promise you this. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to help elevate your status. I'm going to put you in a position where you're going to be associated with the best athletes on these other sports, and you're going to be a monster athlete. So there's a lot of trust going on right there.
Yeah.
And, thankfully, they a lot of them believed in it, and they signed up, and, that first roster was the shit.
Would all of them do pretty decent?
They all did really decent. They all fucking killed it. I mean, the first fight was like that. We had like a logo on the shorts. Before the Reebok deal was Daniel Cormier.
Okay.
And Daniel DC did what he did and just killed it, and fucking monster logo. Then the next one was a big one, was Ronda Rousey at Staples Center, and it just one after the other. Then Anthony Pettis, and then Weidman, and then Cowboy, and then fucking the big one, and literally, it's hard to even fucking say this, the one guy that was the one that we're like, okay, and he was actually at the time the lowest paid monster athlete on the team, Conor McGregor. And that was the one that just did it all.
Wow.
He did everything. He's the guy that put Monster on the fucking map for MMA. He's the guy that put like everybody, he just changed the dynamic of the entire scope of the whole industry.
Yeah.
And he's one of those once in a lifetime kind of guys that come around that if I had dealt with some of them before. Like I had Kimbo Slice on my team and I had Rampage on my team. I've dealt with very big athletes that had a lot of star power behind them that were, household names, but nothing like Conor ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see his new thing that comes out on Netflix. See what the angle, what they did with it. Was he?
I don't even know if I can watch it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to know more about you. I have a question because, dude, your life looks electric. You're going all over the place. I remember your interview with Ryan where you're like, yeah, but dude, these guys are stoked that I'm their friend. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at you. I look at this creator. I look at this artist. I look at this guy pulling a lot of these strings and doing a lot of these things. And I'm like, I wonder if there was somebody in your life that you saw physically with your eyes growing up that you were like, yeah, I learned a lot of this stuff, or I learned a lot of the way I see things from this guy.
Well, yeah.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, I mean, there's phases of the people too. But like we talked about this earlier, Mike Stewart was the first person for sure, 100%. Like undoubtedly the first athlete I ever saw in my life that I was like, I want to be like that guy. I watched him, basically dominate a sport in a way that, to this day can't be replicated. But I also saw that he got respect in an industry that was very hard to get respect in. And so what he was doing, in bodyboarding, where a lot of bodybuilders just never got respect like that. He always got it.
Yeah.
And he did it in a way that was cool. And that's why I looked at him and was like, whatever Mike is doing when I was growing up, I want to do it just like that. And I'm looking at how he fucking he did this thing on his boards where he got hot stamps. I'll never forget it because I wanted to do the same shit. Where it was a gotcha logo. He had his logos stamped in, where they used to do this thing where when they make a bodyboard where they stamp the fucking logo of the bodyboard company and the name of the model of the board.
Yeah.
Well, he had that, and he had his sponsors, and that was the shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was drawn on by hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he fucking had it stamped in. So he was not only it made him double legit.
Yeah.
And so I saw that and how he put it out, and every board was the same. All the boards had the same fucking logo in the same place, and I'm like, this guy is sincerely fucking branding his shit in a way that it's like a team, and it looks perfect every time. I never saw none of the other bodyboarders at that time did shit like that.
You're right. Yeah.
They didn't do it like that. A new model would come out, it was a different color, and it was but the same branding was on it in certain ways, and you knew it was his. But when the board came out, those logos weren't on it. His logos weren't on there. So you were just I could get that board. Fuck, man. If I could ever get my hands on a fucking one of his with those fucking, the real fucking logos branded in there. I always wanted that. I thought it was cool shit.
Yeah.
And so that's when I saw, watching him and watching how he presented his brand, how he was, every single thing he did, every way he did a move, every way he would drop in, everything, his methodical thinking of dropping in a wave, seeing what it was, doing a roll, coming out, looking at the section, if it was going to be he was going to either do I knew all his shit. He was going to go, he's going to fucking reverse at the top, or he's going to fucking cut back, and then he's going to spin at the bottom, and then he's going to get up. I knew everything he did when he did it, and I watched it over and over and over on repeat, to the point where tapes would break.
Yeah.
And so then I did that shit after Mike and I got into riding motocross. I did the same fucking thing with watching motocross riders. And so I'd watch these guys, and then a couple of the guys that I would watch how they rode, I'm okay, he hits the berm like this. He fucking takes off on the jump like this. He comes in at this angle, and I would watch it, and I would replicate it when I go out and try the same fucking thing. The only thing is that when I was doing it on the water, I would get beat up, but I wouldn't get broken. On a motorcycle, I got fucking broken. That's how I broke my back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dude, well, that's who I would answer to. Mike Stewart was that guy for me in my life that I saw. I got to hang out with him and surf with him a couple times, and I was like, this is my guy. So that's interesting. Now, who is in your head now? Is there voices that you listen to now that you're hey man, when this person says this, I really keen in. And for me, it's Andy Frisella right now, because his way that he looks at business and what he's achieved, I go, okay, he actually makes it you believe you can probably do the same thing. Yeah. And I've followed his advice, and it's helped me out in a tremendous amount. Is there anybody that's like that for you now?
No.
Get out of there. Fuck, that's the last spot I need to do this. All right, I'm going to have to pull out some trickery here.
Well, you got the fucking magic glove, dude.
Do you consume any content now?
Yeah, I watch everything, right? But how we were talking earlier, and you were saying, you limit the content you watch based on the people or whatever. I kind of just scan through it just to get ideas and see what people are doing. Yeah. Or look at it and from a research point of view, going, okay, that's interesting. He's doing that. That's okay. But I don't know. There's nobody I'm oh, I can't wait to see what this guy's going to do. What is he doing? Virgil Abloh is I watched him a lot, before he died. I looked at Virgil stuff because I thought that he did a really good job at taking, a lifestyle, which is skateboarding. And I didn't mean to do that, but it's there. The skateboarding streetwear lifestyle and basically turning it into a, fashion, couture brand.
Who is that?
Virgil Abloh does Off-White. Oh. So he does the Off-White brand, and then he became the creative director of Louis Vuitton. So I watched him for a number of years, just kind of seeing how he did that, you know?
Yeah.
Because I really never thought, though, at the same time, and I'll probably get fucking shit on for this one, but like, I never thought he was the best designer or like none of that shit. I thought he just did a really good job at taking that shit and getting people to look at it from a fucking high-end point of view, because we couldn't do that. Like, all of us that tried it in skateboarding, we couldn't get that. Like, it was really tough to like to get like, hey, we couldn't sell a pair of $500 shoes.
Yeah.
But there's no difference. Like, the shoes that we were creating at Osiris, there's no difference than a fucking Dolce & Gabbana shoe or a Versace shoe. They're the same fucking shoe.
Yeah.
You know, but it's brand perception. And he created the brand perception in a way that, like, he was selling fucking gigantic logos on t-shirts that were really skate inspired and really streetwear inspired, but he was doing it high fashion. So, like, I watched him and I really studied it, like, what he was doing to get these fucking, like, these uber elite fucking people that were in this design world of Versace and Chanel, and like, I mean, those are brands I study. I watch and I fucking, like, I really do like deep dive analysis.
Positioning, or what is it that?
No, because it's like, I'm a student of design, man. Yeah. So, like, I really watch what they do and what they've done and where they've come from and like how they've done it. Like, I look at all that stuff and go, all right, like, this is like everything from logo placement, like the width of a logo, the height of a logo, to the fucking curves and the angles, and then the colors, the intersections, like where the points like fucking divide. Like, I'm really fucking like meticulous about that. Same thing when I shoot photos. Like, when I shoot a photo, you know, like if I'm shooting a portrait of something, like I try to get like I look into the eyes of the subject to try to get the most emotion I could get out of them, so that when you look at that fucking photo, you're like, you could feel something. Like the shot that I shot of Connor, you probably don't even know this one. Did you?
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this one.
Have you seen the photo?
Yeah, it's the one for the Mayweather McGregor where he's doing the right? That one?
Yes, it wasn't for Mayweather McGregor. Oh. It's a screenshot, but it's the one that this was for.
Pull it up and put it right in front of that camera so everybody knows what the hell we're talking about.
It was when he fought Chad Mendes. So it was before he was the champion. So he wasn't even the world champion yet. Like, Conor McGregor wasn't Conor at that time yet. He wasn't the household name in any way. Like, he was still, I mean, MMA guys knew who he was, but he wasn't like.
When he had a ponytail?
It was this photo. So I shot that.
That's a Hans Molenkamp special.
I shot that in a studio in Las Vegas. He was driving around, like, he was an hour late because he had rented a convertible Mustang.
I don't want to brag, so let's sit down.
Yeah, I'm sweating, dude. I'm starting to hurt.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's actually starting.
Yeah, your hip. I can't imagine I'd challenge you to a pool game with your hip like that.
That's all right. I just wanted to move around anyway. He was driving around for an hour with D. We had shot on the beach in Los Angeles a couple months before that, and no one knew who he was. So imagine Conor McGregor in Los Angeles on a fucking beach. Mm-hmm. Like, me, Conor, and just a couple other people that were with us on a beach as I'm shooting photos of him on the sand in a beach in LA. Can you imagine doing that right now?
No.
What kind of crowd would, like, one person sees him, like, how many people would fucking, like, he rolls with 5 bodyguards right now. Yeah. 5. And so then it was just us. Like, it was just us. Yeah. And so we went, and that time I was waiting for him. I was getting really upset. I was starting to get fucking pissed because I was like, dude, where are you? Like, where are you? Where are you? What the fuck? Where are you? And then he shows up, and he was driving this convertible Mustang, and he goes, I've never driven a convertible before. We were just driving in circles. It was so much fun. And the moment he got in there, Connor is the kind of guy that he could be 4 or 5 hours late and he shows up and the whole mood just changes. It doesn't fucking matter because Connor's there. Yeah. You can't even be mad at him. Yeah. Like, so he gets there and then he rolls right in and, you know, we start shooting and I got like some of the most iconic shots I've ever gotten. I mean, that fucking photo has been replicated and distributed and like done. Like, no one even knows it's mine, but it's everywhere. Wow. Like, I've had to fucking try to take it down from places. I just gave up. Like, it just really got to the point where, I'll show you that day too. It got to the point where I was just like, I can't even keep up with this anymore, dude. It doesn't even matter. Like, this is in 2015, like, Connor inside, like this is Connor pre-everything.
Oh, that looks like he has a ponytail there. Did you
No, he just cut the ponytail off. It was before, like, he didn't have the cornrows at that time.
He's
anymore.
really into kickboxing and all this stuff, like more so than anybody I've met. So he probably did you know about him back then?
Oh yeah, and I bought that T-shirt actually with that picture when I was in Thailand.
No way.
Training Muay Thai.
It's a.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's the thing, is that, like, you know, Connor, like, when I gave Connor the Triumph stuff, I think he was in Cage Warriors at that time, you know, so, like, we already had a relationship and, like, we were already doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then he, you know, put him on the team, and the rest is history.
Dude, we
did one of the best activations I've ever done in the history of all activations. When I'm saying, like, I've, like, coming up with a concept to get people to do something, was the Conor McGregor, win a trip to Ireland to hang out with Conor McGregor in his gym.
Oh, dude.
There was more people that entered that contest than ever in the history of Monster, ever.
Really?
Yeah, because it was on when he was on fire, and so we went and we activated. He showed up at the gym. He was there for like 3 hours, signing autographs, hanging out with people, and then him and I fucking sparred.
Okay.
In front of everybody.
Was it fun?
No, it wasn't fun, because it was one of those things that, like, it's Connor, and I mean, he kicked the shit out of me, but at the same time, it's like, as much as I want to do shit to him, and I know, like, oh, I got a shot, right? I could fucking light him up, like, I could, and I'm big, right? So I'm like, you know, he's like 50 pounds lighter than me, you know, but I'm like, I can't do this. No matter what, there's nothing I can do, you know what I mean? Like, this is the fucking golden prince right here. Like, so, you know, like, I can't, you know, it's like, if you're like, you know, imagine, like, if we're playing fucking, you know, pool, and you're like the best pool player of all time, and I'm like, I could beat him right now. And like, you know, like, you just don't do it. Like, there's a point where it's like, yeah, this is his thing, dude. Like, I'm not going to fucking do this and brag about it. I'm not going to.
Well, that's just like, you know, you have an understanding of humans and how we interact, like, to know that.
Yeah, there's a point where you just gotta make sure that, you know, like, you don't do something that, and I'm guilty of doing stupid shit. Trust me, I've done it, you know, and I've messed up numerous times where I'm like, I fucking shouldn't have done that. And I've learned my lesson. Like, you know, there's been incidents where I'm like, fuck. And as I'm doing it, like the infamous time with fucking Dana, when I don't know why I did it. I was upset, and I fucking wrote this post that I should never have written, and I was upset at him for something stupid, and I put it out there, and it was like, as I'm writing, I'm like, I probably shouldn't do this.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
And it's like, okay, you know, like, I put it out, and like an hour goes by, you know, like, maybe no one cares, you know. 2 hours go by. Hey, a text comes through, bro, and you just see a bro, and that's one of those, like, oh fuck. If I see them, like, and you see another one, dude,
oh shit,
and you see, what the fuck is going on? Oh shit. And I go in, I look, and I see fucking what Dana wrote back to me on the fucking thing I put up. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I fucked up so bad right now.
What? I didn't see that. How long ago was this?
Like 4 years ago. You
shared an opinion that he disagreed with?
No, I just fucking I went to a fight with Rob Dyrdek many years ago, and I really fucking put some shit out there that I shouldn't have put out.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I should not have done it, and I did it, and I own it, and I fucking, Dana was very upset at me. I made it very public, and I'm like, fuck.
You guys patch it up since then?
Yeah, we patched it. We fully patched it up. We're patched up. But it's like, I did it, and it was like I regret it for sure.
Well, dude, I have so many questions about your thoughts about being a dad, your thoughts about being a man nowadays, and these types of things. And that alarm went off because Jesse's visiting her mom because of the 1 year anniversary of their brother, you know, her brother passing away.
Yeah. I
actually had to pick up my daughter in school in like 10 minutes.
That's fine. I'm gonna come back.
Well, I was gonna say, can we do more of this?
Yeah.
Like, I want you to come back up and us to chat way more. Yeah. Because I got questions.
Well, yeah, dude, like, if you want to make this something, like, legit, like, where you want to think about it and do it, that's fine. Like, just keep going.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll come back.
Yeah, well, this is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Just this episode, people are going to fucking love.
Yeah.
But like, I got so many other questions for you that there's just no way. Like, I can't if I.
No, I mean, you got me at a good time in life where I'm actually talking. Because normally I'd be like, I don't know, because I've turned down a lot of them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, really, I have. Like, I just like, I don't feel like talking. Like, I'm like, I'll talk right now.
Well, the last 6 years I've been following your career and watching what you're doing and kind of reading between the lines and digging a little bit. I'm just like, man, I fuck with this dude. Like, this guy, your idea about creativity and stuff is.
Let me ask you this. This is like now, like, I mean, like, this is more of Chris. I want to know because I want to be better at it too. It's like, am I missing something that now that you know me a little bit better that I could be putting out? You're like, dude, like, or do you like it just the way it is?
I like it the way it is, but I want to know where you're going. Like, where's Hans Molenkamp going? Like, if you get your goal, like you go, hey man, 15 years I look back and go, I fucking did it. I want to know what that is, and I want to get into that and dive into that.
It's that. Yeah. I mean, that's my goal right now. My goal is I want to create and build a like world-renowned brand with Crimson that like basically fucking, like I said, like I look up to like the Virgils, like I want this to transcend into a whole, because I've done it already. Like I've gotten these people I didn't think I could buy it. These are $500 fucking knives, dude. Yeah. You know, some of these knives are $1,000 for this fucking knife that I'm about to give you right now. Okay. But like, this is a knife that like, this is not mine, right? I want to touch it. I know. Be careful though, dude. I will. Right? People hurt themselves all the time with it.
Yeah. Dude, you can't. It's a different feel when you feel it.
Right? Just push it up, dude. You got it. Don't be scared.
Oh shit.
Okay, so let me give you the rules on this one.
In California.
So this is the deal, right? You can own it. You can keep it in here. You can keep it at your house. Can you carry it? I don't think you're the guy that's gonna fucking get pulled over and fucking frisked. Okay. I don't think you're gonna go stab somebody on the streets. Probably. I carry it every day, dude. I carry this thing every day.
Because you're just a stabber?
No, because I just like, if I am in some shit, I'm gonna fucking stab you for sure. But guess what? If I'm in some shit, I'm gonna either fucking stab you or I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you. Either way, I'm going to jail, right? And so until I could, you know, prove why I did it, like I would rather have, you know, something on me to make sure I'm protected. But just be careful with it and don't, you know, hurt yourself. But honestly, it's one of those things I just tell people. It's like, dude, if a cop fucking saw that, they'd be like, dude, where'd you get that at? Yeah. And you'd be like, dude, go to Crimson. They give discounts to police officers because we do. Fuck yeah. And so that's why it's funny. It's like, we have so many police officers that come to us and like, not one, like we don't get people going, dude, that's illegal in California. Yeah, it's illegal. If you're going to go do something dumb, don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Put that like that? No. No, okay. No, that's like that's totally taboo, dude. You don't want to break the tip. Oh, okay. I thought it was like if I stuck in there, it'd be like this. Look at how fucking sharp this thing is. It could, but the same thing is, so the whole point behind these knives is you want to keep them sharp. Okay. And the tip right there, because it's so fucking sharp and it's so much of a tip, you don't want to break the tip. Okay. Here, that's yours. Thank you, man. Just don't kill anybody with it. Okay, I won't. I'm honored by it. I think this is fucking beautiful. And where can people go buy these? There's going to be guys that want Crimson Tactical. CrimsonTactical.com. Yep, that's where we have that. And then like this is ours. You know, this is our new knife that's coming out, which is a fixed blade, which you can use for defense. You could use that for hunting. You could use that for everything. You could use that. That's a multi-use tactical blade right there. That's just like I design gloves and shoes and all the shit. Like this is a Hans design too. Dude, you are a total artist, man. I'm an artist before I'm anything else. Yeah. And that's what people don't know. Yeah. I don't think people realize that about me. Like that's why like a lot of this shit that I do, or like when I'm, you know, like dude, so some of the shit, the skits that I do that I've got like that kind of put me on the map for a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like that's to me, and this is the funny thing, that's like performance art. Yeah. Like they're skits, they're legitimate skits I do. Like I do that because I want someone like you and I want someone like you to stop on and go, what the fuck is this? And sit there and laugh for a second. Yeah. And like laugh with me and know that like this is a skit that I did purposely done for your entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's performance art.
It translates that way.
And so it's not like, you know, because a lot of people are like, dude, what is he doing? Like, I mean, I've had that, right? Where they're like, dude, that's so fake. No shit.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Like, that's the whole fucking point, dude. Like, why would anybody let this happen, right?
Yeah.
But because it did happen, and because you're seeing it right now, you're still watching it, and I think that's the thing. That's where the marketing comes in.
Yeah.
Is that like one of the ones that fucking was all time is me kicking the can out of Daniel Cormier's fucking hand.
Yeah.
And that did come from me actually doing it to somebody, like, as a real thing, because it was me fucking around with him.
Yeah.
And I moved that, and I was like, I didn't tell DC I was going to do this. This is a whole other story, but no, you're getting some juice right now.
Let's go.
I didn't tell him this was going to happen, but I did it, and that's why he got such a natural reaction of like the fucking what the fuck.
Yeah.
And I did it to Mosswood the same way too. I didn't tell them what was going on.
It looks like they eventually loved it though. Like,
but once they figured out, like,
boys.
but like anything getting kicked out of your fucking hand when you don't know what's about to happen, you're gonna jump.
Of course.
And so I didn't tell them when it was gonna happen. I didn't say that, like, you know, like I didn't give them any of that. They knew like we were filming something. They just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But so when I did those things, it's like, what am I doing? What's the real purpose behind it? Well, the purpose is that I'm creating attention. You're looking at the brands that I'm putting in their hands, right?
Yeah.
And now you're seeing a real thing that's going on between me and the athlete, and it's a real symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
So like it powers, and that's where you see it, and you're like, he is close with these guys.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Like, it's not like this isn't something that's going to happen like if I didn't know you. Like, if like I've never met you a day in my life and I said, hey, let me do this to you, you'd be like, what? Like, or if I did it to you and I didn't really know you, you'd be like, motherfucker, dude, don't post that shit.
Yeah.
That's not fucking funny. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't like it. So when we did these things, everyone was like all on board because we all looked at it. It was like, this is fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
And so those things morphed into other things. And like, yeah, it's like, that's all performance art.
Dude, it's like this half a degree difference between someone saying, fuck you, why are you doing that too? That's hilariose.
Yes.
You gotta but it's that small.
But
it's the
that's
nuance, but it's it.
But that's what gets people.
Yeah.
Like, that's what like makes it so it doesn't look so fucking retarded and like it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like, this is like, because trust me, man, everyone tried to fucking replicate it and do dumb shit, like, you know, and it just, no one cared because it was like, it didn't make any sense. And I moved on, and I didn't keep doing the same thing. I moved on. Like, the irony is everyone goes, dude, don't kick a can out of my hands, right? I've only done that once.
Wow.
I only did the can was only one fucking time.
Yeah.
But I've gotten like, everyone was like, hey dude, don't kick that fucking can out of my hand. I'm like, it happened one time. That was it.
Yeah.
It just, people like saw it so many times. I kicked the Pringles out of Masvidal, and I kicked the taco shell out of Flex Lewis's hand. But like, there are different things that I've kicked, right? It wasn't a can, you know. But they were all fucking great ones.
You know what? That's probably the characteristic trait that I want to say that I want to honor and appreciate you most for is your originality. Like, when you meet an original, you go, that's an original. He's playing his music the way he fucking plays it. and dude, there's... I wish I had totally forgot about picking up my daughter.
Go pick up your daughter.
I totally forgot about it, and because I want to ask you so many more questions.
We'll get that guy.
But if you want, you don't have to say yes in front of the camera if you don't want to. But it would be fun to have you back up here.
Yeah, I'll come back.
And
I can't this week though.
Okay, well, some other time.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm talking about like for a whole other episode.
Yeah, I'll come back up.
You guys got to go buy this amazing stuff right here.
That's already, you can't buy that.
Oh, they can't buy this.
Sold out. See, that's the thing. Once it's up, it's gone, and it's gone.
So, will there another battle axe be coming?
Yeah, there's a new one coming out. It's different though.
Oh, that's so badass. And then they can get these.
Yeah, we have
Crimson Tapsicle. They can get the knives, but the battle axe they can't.
No, this they could get next. But once it's up and it's gone, it's gone.
I love that.
That's the thing. Like, you got to create some scarcity so that it means something, dude. Like, I don't want to have it so that it doesn't mean anything, you know?
All right, so there we are. That is the show. We shot the shit with Hans Molenkamp. Bro,
thank you for having me.
Your ideas about marketing and how you have touched so many of these viewers through your marketing ideas, through your just your thinking about stuff. These people don't even know.
Hopefully they'll get something out of it. That's the goal.
Yeah. So listen, keep crushing it. That shit's contagious.